Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, brand new podcast. That's right, coming in hot. Brand new podcast with none of the usual CookieCast members. Nobody from the football podcast, wrestling, Pursuit of Happiness, any of that. I'm not even on it, other than obviously this bit now. Do you like Formula One? Well, we got together a group of guys who love Formula One. And they're going to talk to you about Formula One, surprisingly. So like I say, it's a new one, and it's a new one for us because we're branching out. We're getting more people to do more podcasts, and we hope that you, the listener and viewer for this one, enjoy the new podcasts that we've got coming your way. If you do, click that subscribe button and let us know how much you love the new podcasts. Let these new guys, let them know how much you love them by subscribing to their new podcast. So, for the first time, I'm going to say, this is CookieCast, and this is the Straight to the Apex podcast.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to the very first Straight to the Apex Formula One podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mark Wilkin. I'm a Formula One fan. Unfortunately for you all, I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, joined by another Lewis Hamilton fan, co-host James Stainforth.
Evening all.
And we are also joined each week by our resident gangster, Tony Rawson. Who likes to make an entrance, as you'll see.
Look, all the cameras zoomed in just in time for that dramatic pause.
Before we get going, I just want to say thank you to Andy Cook and CookieCast for having us on. Obviously, we're independent to your usual co-hosts, so hopefully we can be as good. But we are talking all things Formula One. So, boys, last season's race. Let's just briefly touch on how it ended.
Shit.
It was shit. It was shit.
I mean, is there an element of Netflix influenced it? Because that's the rumours, isn't it?
We all know that. I mean, you know, we've all seen the latest season, and we know that Lando's not the way he's been portrayed and stuff like that. And a lot of the drivers seem to be coming out at the moment and going on about it. Even Max, of all people, Max Verstappen's even turning around and saying, I don't like it. You made Lando out to be a dick, and he's really not.
Is that what he said, has it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was only today, actually.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the result, obviously, for two of us being Lewis fans, one for being a general British driver fan, it wasn't the result we wanted, but like you say, it was just the way that Michael Massey went about everything, the decision. It was just shit, wasn't it? It really was shit.
It was a shit.
A lot of the decisions that Massey made, you know, I mean, granted, you only hear on the radio what the TV actually plays at the time, but you know quite a lot of it, there was Horner in his ear. I mean, there was even times when Horner was saying stuff and Massey was like, let's leave that there, which to me is pretty much Massey saying, I've seen what you guys have done. If you want me to look into it, you're going to get penalised, so you might be better just keeping your mouth shut. But, there was a lot of those controversies. The wrong word to use, maybe the strong word to use, but you know, we're getting the findings out now from the FIA investigation, and they've even turned around and said there's a lot of human error in there, which actually had an impact on the final result, which is upsetting. But you know, Lewis has been around a long enough time, so has a lot of the other drivers, and you know, this is one thing they can do really well is they can stand back up, dust themselves off, and just get on with it again.
Don't think any of this would have happened with Charlie Whiting in charge still, do you? I think, you know, I mean, I feel sorry for Michael Massey in the sense that he was chucked in front of the limelight, chucked into the big job. because of what happened at the beginning of last year or a couple of years ago now with Charlie Whiting's death. But, you know, he's experienced enough not to be influenced by team bosses. And it was just unfortunate that it ended the way it did, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and I know, you know, I made the comment a second ago saying, you know, Horner was in his ear a lot, but Horner would have been the other one, the only one. Toto would have been there. Pretty much every single team principal will have been on his case. I mean, we only hear Horner in that last race, and on Drive to Survive, you hear all the other drivers saying, you know, why are they overtaking? Why can't I overtake? I've been lapped as well. You got to know for a fact that their team principals would have been on the blower as well.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone would have been on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a huge pressure to take granted.
But
which is why they've changed the rules for this season, into you know
it's
a lot of new rules in it that I like.
There is, but what I don't understand is this VAR thing. How they're going to implement that? I mean, they can't even do it in football, so I don't know how they're going to do it in Formula One. But I suppose we'll see when that first incident happens, won't we? That'll be the test, definitely.
The one that I've liked, and it really came in this week's race that we're going to be talking about later on as well, is, you know, there's none of this. The directors are going to get onto the phone, you know, not the phone, the radio, sorry, and start saying, you know, you've got to give that space back. It's a case of you've got to make that decision, and if you don't make that decision, you're going to.
I think that's right.
Yes, I really like that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Less talk. Leave it up to the teams to decide it.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Their way of saying, if you think you can do a better job than Massey or, you know, White or anyone else, do it.
And I think that, like I say, we'll talk about it later, but I think the race that's just gone, that was implemented great. You know, they sorted it out. Right, if you don't sort it out, you get a penalty. Simple as, you know.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I think it's better.
I think we'll leave last season there. Let's move on.
No, I don't
new season, new cars. First and foremost, what do we think to the new cars?
Too many changes, to be honest. I think it's just too many changes.
Granted, there's a lot of changes. I agree there, Tony, but I think there's too many changes and not enough time to get all the creases ironed out. I mean, the porpoising alone, it ain't great. It's not going to be good for the drivers or anything. But you know, what happens every time you change the formula?
Do you think the way that it ended last season, the last season's race, and I know we've just touched about it, do you think that's had an impact on this season and the creations of the cars, the adapting of the rules and whatnot?
Yeah,
or do you think they're already on it like last season? Do you think there's a team in there back at home, back at base that's already creating a car?
Years ago, if you look at the season before, Red Bull pretty much dominated it, you know, with Sebastian Vettel and everything. Red Bull didn't really do anything with their car for that year. They pretty much saved everything that they had for the next season when the change was going to come in. Made those changes to the car, and then, well, you know what happened after that.
I just think it's embarrassing though that this is the pinnacle of like motor racing, but we're having this porpoising issue. What's all that about? I know, I agree. Google or Alexa. It's just
other smart speakers are available, everybody. No, I would say these rules have been COVID delayed them. So these new cars would have been in last year. This is Ross Brawn's baby. He wants cleaner racing. He wants closer racing. He wants cars to follow the old aerodynamics of cars. If you got within 5 seconds, you couldn't get near them. So we had a train. You know, well, you'll see after these first 2 races, is it track specific? I don't know. But it's your team cars can follow other cars. So that's only good, isn't it? For you actually see who the real races are and who the jerks are, Lance Stroll. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Lance Stroll, yeah. But no, I think the cars look nice. Like you say, it's the pinnacle of motorsport, and this is what people find boring about Formula One. And it's just cars going around the track. Everything in them engines and technology will go into a road car at some point. They are the best engineers in the world, aren't they? You know, simple.
Correct. But look at the racing. I know we're going to touch on it, but look at the racing. Leclerc and Max. It added like a whole different dynamic. Like when to pass, when is the right time to pass? Like when do you hold? Like it added it was so much, and they were touching on it on TV. They were saying like this is just so much more exciting to watch, and it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
strategically as well, it's much more difficult. I mean, last season, you know, a lot of drivers would have like leads of like 19, 20 seconds. So you know, right, you know, they just put the foot down for a couple of laps, just build that gap up a little bit. They can pretty much get a pit stop. And that's probably still come out in the same position. If not, maybe only lose a one spot and very quickly get it back because of the tyre degradation of the other guys. But the cars are that close this year that there's nothing between them. I mean, Hamilton didn't have a chance at all, really. And yeah, it's just tight, but that's great. I mean, because you're not just getting something happening up the front of the race, but then having more interest in what's going on with the midfield drives and stuff like that, or what's going on near the back. It's full on. I mean, granted, in the race that's just been, we didn't really look at Perez and Leclerc and Sainz for the first 10 laps because
that was true.
We were watching Alonso and Ocon.
Yeah,
I mean that was brilliant.
Wow. Yeah, it was.
But anyway.
Yeah, so we'll quickly whiz through Bahrain. So obviously Bahrain was not the weekend, Sunday that's gone, the Sunday before that. Top 10 finish first was Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Tsunoda, Alonso, and is it Ganyu? The new driver, the rookie.
Oh, yeah. I'm struggling to
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Because,
Thanks, leave that for me. Yeah. So from that first race, obviously, we had quite a few conversations last week about it. Christian Horner still is moaning bitch yourself.
Yeah.
Even a summer break with a Spice Girl hasn't changed that, has it?
No.
You know, you remember in the film The Bodyguard, when you see the stalker, he's got like a locker and it's just all pictures of like Whitney Houston in there. You know Horner's got one. It's just like Hamilton all over the place.
I thought he was going to say he might have had all the other Spice Girls in the cupboard.
Working his way through them like Pokemon.
I think one of the things we touched on last week was Max Verstappen's attitude on the radio, and I think that was also this week. It was also this week. I don't get the key. He's world champion.
Sounds like a baby. That's what I mean. Oh, I can't stand it.
I've got like half a page of notes, and it's Hamilton moaning. It's
Hamilton.
Yeah, he's sorry, not Hamilton. Verstappen. He's got to lose the attitude. If you don't lose, he's throwing it at his engineers, and they're the guys that are trying to get him to win.
I mean, if you was his engineer,
sounds like a baby.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're his engineer, you've also got to be a babysitter as well as a clever engineer, aren't you? Because the kid just throws his toys out the pram all the time.
Well, the last thing he said, I know we're on about Bahrain, so apologies, but the last thing he said in that lap, where is it? Leclerc started catching up on him, and all of a sudden he starts going, "How did he close up? That's so unfair." Come on, it's racing. It's what happened.
He's gone over the line. It's gone over the line. He's gone over the line.
He's got a faster car than me. I don't like him. It's red and he's chasing me. Yeah.
The engineer on the radio, just drive faster. Like, what the fuck? Like, shut the fuck up. Just drive. What the fuck? Oh, dear me.
Is that bred from Horner and Helmut Marko? Because them two are the big. Why is Helmut Marko get so much TV time for what is essentially an advisor of young drivers. I mean, why do we need to see him on screen? I don't fucking want to see his face. Just.
I feel like Drive to Survive on Netflix. Shout out Netflix, by the way.
If Beth going to go behind you now with a Netflix sign saying, please sponsor.
Please sponsor.
Yeah. Not just Netflix, everybody.
Oh, yeah. We'll take anyone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They've made Horner out to be a bit of a bitch, haven't they?
I don't think they've made it out. I think that's
you think he is a proper. It really does come across as a bell end, but then is he a bell end? Like, or are we just tainted now because we've watched Drive to Survive?
No, there is an element of him being, a bit of a bell end at times, but we're only seeing what they're actually showing us what they want to portray him as we said about Lando and stuff like that. Yes, he does seem a bit obsessive with some of the comments that he makes.
You can't get away from the comments that he said on Drive to Survive. He's not an actor, is he? Like he's a team principal, and he's said stuff like that. Like even on camera, God knows what he's saying off camera. Like that
exactly.
is.
And at the end of the day, if he wasn't doing that stuff, he's in the wrong job. As much as the guy winds me up, if he's not getting on that radio and saying, you need to sort this out, you need to sort that out, or appealing and stuff like that. Granted, a lot of people are appealing, it's mind games and stuff like that, which is all part of the game.
Yeah, maybe true. But some of the comments.
Oh yeah,
almost,
he should be making some of that bloody comments. Absolutely.
It's like playground. It's like we're back in secondary school. It's like
I think he knows what he's doing. I think he
exactly.
knows what he's doing.
Exactly. Is it mind games?
Like James said, he's playing the game, and unfortunately, he's playing it very well. Maybe he knows who to talk to, when to bitch, when to moan, when to say this in front of the camera. It's like I won't be surprised if we found out he has bloody acting training, or something ridiculous like that, because he seems like the most vainest knob going, doesn't he?
So after race day, he's going to just sit there and goes, and see.
Bahrain, take one.
But
the other
interesting thing about Bahrain as well is that the last couple of laps for Red Bull,
yes.
we had it in this week's race as well, but you both know, we've already discussed it before we started recording this as well. The amount of excitement that was probably coming from mine and Mark, when all of a sudden Verstappen's just like, I've got no power. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Calm as a bitch, boy. Calm as a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bad start. That's a really bad start.
And then when Perez went as well, you just knew. Well, Gasly went first, didn't he? It was Gasly first.
Exactly, yeah.
Then Max. But don't you think this always happens with Red Bull cars? When one go, they all seem to go, like, over the years. And they always blame Renault, and they can't blame Renault now.
But it's the same with Mercedes this season, though. I mean, I'm sure it was... Yeah, it was the Bahrain race, if I remember rightly. Well, the commentators actually turned around at one point and said the bottom six are all Mercedes engines. It just
McLaren, terrible.
Yeah, what's going on there? The season they had last year. Granted, it's
terrible.
Days, change, but
terrible.
Do you think it's something to do with this fuel? Because they've added E10, haven't they? A bit like us with cars day to day, where all our fuel consumptions have all gone down because, we're a cleaner planet, we're adding this thing to the petrol. The Formula One teams have had to do that this year. And now, obviously, Mercedes have got a really close partnership with it. Is it Petronas, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you think that, obviously, the boost that they were getting, because they always talk about the fuel in the years gone by, how it works with the engine. Obviously, Ferrari have got Shell. I don't know who Red Bull work with. I can't think who Red Bull. I can't think. Castrol, because it was on the Renault. But I don't know if it is with a Honda. But again, like you've just said, James, with Mercedes teams being in like the bottom 6, have they lost a step on the engine? You know, I know that we're talking about this bouncing, we're talking about aerodynamics, and no one seems to be mentioning, I don't think the engine's as powerful, because last year it just blasted by everybody.
It's the weight, though, as well. A lot of the teams are going on about the weight. So a few of the teams have actually turned on and said, we're not painting our full cars. Just to try and reduce, just to reduce any weight that they can. And in certain parts of the cars, they're not painting them. Believe it or not.
That goes back to your question that you said earlier. Like, with all the changes, has it just really jumbled up all the placings, all the cars? We talk about powertrains, engines, the fuel issue. Like, is this just going to keep cropping up for the next, third of the season?
But the good thing about it as well is, can you imagine? I mean, granted, you know, I'm an Hamilton fan, and so is Mark, and you know seeing Hamilton win it, you know, pretty much every year on the bounce for God knows how long. After a while, you'd start getting bored of it, which is why it's great when they change the formula. You know, with the new rulings, the new work that needs to be on the cars and everything else like that, because it's like you said, Tony, it shuffles them up. I mean, look at Haas.
Yeah.
In their first race this season, they scored more points than they did in the entire last season collectively.
That's crazy.
And that's great, although
it's really well for them as well, because they're going to need all the money they can get with them having to lose the sponsors.
Yeah, and we are Hamilton fans, but I really like the fact that it is so mixed, because I don't know who's going to win it. Apart from obviously Ferrari being starting the season quite well, I don't know who's going to win a race. Well, last year and previous years, you know, Mercedes rock up as long as there's no issues. 1-2,
yeah.
It
got boring.
The last few years, when it came to the predictions, it'd pretty much be you'd be looking at Hamilton and Bottas 1 and 2, and then you maybe get a bit of a variance on you know your third spot. Likelihood is most of it would be Verstappen, but there'd be a few others in the mix.
But again, this season, it's exciting already. It's more exciting. There's just so many more angles to it. So I think this season is going to be very good, very entertaining.
It'll be interesting because obviously we've got Australia next, which is another street circuit. I think is the Miami as well. No, it's Australia, Italy, but it's Italy as in not Monza, the other one that we haven't been to for quite a while. We was there last year. Is it? No, I can't remember the name of it now. And then Miami's a new one, which is a street circuit. So really, it's like another month before we get to an actual physical circuit. Whereas, like Barcelona, where it's a standard circuit. So to me, it's already mixing it up with the new cars, with new circuits. It's great. It's really good. So, right. We're going to take a quick break there, and then when we come back, we'll obviously look at the race just gone, and we'll also preview Australia. So see you all in a bit. There were some great sponsors, really good sponsors, really good.
I really like the second one.
That second one was good.
It was great. Yeah.
I think the first one was a bit weak. We need to maybe up the game with the first one, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So, Saudi Arabia, boys, let's start with qualifying. What did we think?
Before we start with that, let's just have this out, right? Why are we in Jeddah, in Saudi Arabia, where there's been a missile attack miles from the race, there's been a terrible human rights record, and they had like a mass killing spree. Look how I'm pissed off with this. Look, the pen's out. Like a mass execution before the race even got there. Why are we here? Why?
I'll apologise now, viewers, because money talks. Money talks. That's it, isn't it? That is it.
It is, unfortunately, it's very true. Very, very true.
I mean,
it's sad, but it's true.
The whole meeting the drivers had about the safety when the team principals decided we want to race, and the drivers went, "Oh, fucking hell! Hold on a minute, guys. We drive the cars, and they was in there. Was it like 2 or 3 in the morning or something ridiculous?"
Yeah. But they assured that it's gonna be safe, guys. It's gonna be safe.
Well, the class is the safest place in Saudi Arabia. I mean, what, driving a car at 200 miles an hour is the safest place to be in that country, is it? Yeah, all right then.
I mean, no one's gonna mess with that race, are they? Because if they do, then they're in serious trouble, aren't they? Serious trouble.
Serious. So,
well, it's funny. It's money. It's money at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
it's sad. It's sad, but it's money.
So the top 3 for qualifying was Perez. Was it Leclerc?
Perez 1, Leclerc 2, Sainz 3, Max 4.
Yep. Less said about Lewis in 16th, the better, although it was 15th. After a few changes to the grid, as always. I think Tsunoda obviously dropped out, didn't he?
The thing is, with a track like that, it's fast, it's dangerous, to be honest. I mean, some of that, like the crash, what do you call it? Schumacher's crash was just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. You've got to have a car that is good, you're happy with. 2, you've got to be confident, and you've got to have them both together. Lewis doesn't have any of that. He's not happy with the car's crap, and therefore he's just not going to be confident. And he said that in an interview. He did actually say that. Even when he tried to make changes to the car, he still wasn't confident with it. So he came out and said, why would you attack a high-speed corner if you're not happy with the car? Because all you're going to end up is in the wall and end up like Mick Schumacher.
Maybe Latifi should listen to that comment. If you're not happy with the car, don't bin it. Oh, no, wait. He bins it.
He's just
crash,
yeah.
I honestly, I thought the worst when it happened because there was no replays.
Yeah.
They never went back to the car or anything for a good 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, we've not even heard the radio. I'm like, this isn't good.
No.
He never got out.
It was done.
Yeah. He never got out straight away. And when he never get out, it's like, shit, something bad's happened here.
The angle he hit the wall.
Yeah, strange angle he hit the wall. Like he hit it on a side and at the back. But he hit it only 170 miles an hour. So, I mean, like, what you know?
Safest place to be in the country.
Yeah, I saw it just before we started recording this. Haas have just said they just had to pay $1 million to repair that car. Pretty much everything on the car was written off. The only thing they was able to save was the capsule and the power cells. That's it. Everything else was totaled.
I mean, kudos to how it's made, just everything about the car to save somebody hitting a wall at like over 150 miles an hour and survive. Like, Jesus Christ.
You've only got to look at that, possibly not this year, but previous years, that car has been the worst car on the grid. And that car saved Roman Grosjean a few years ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
that's how safe. I know people didn't like the halo, and I can't stand it. It looks awful. However, that thing and the safety of that car is unbelievable. You know,
I always wondered what had happened before the halo. Like, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Like, you're traveling at that speed with nothing in front of you. Like, you're literally like that. Surely, and it did, didn't it? Fucking happened. They got fucking. So it needed to happen, but I don't know how they can see. Like, I know you've got
No.
now. You can see the helmet cams, which are, by the way, fucking ace.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah,
What an addition that is! Like,
Yeah.
fantastic. But I just don't like with something literally banging your eye like that all the time. How it must be off-putting, but they seem to do it, don't they? They're probably
Yeah.
looking that quick at everything that they just don't even notice it.
I really liked that shot this weekend on that corner where you could see the driver's eyes as they went round, because it was a night race. You had the clear visors. I mean, fuck me, that is concentrating. But like you say, how they look at stuff with that in the way, not a clue.
Yeah, was it Signs? They were looking. There was a close up on Signs. They looked like he was like off his head. He was like this. Like the concentration was like, whoa.
I mean, you're navigating a street circuit like that one. It's the fastest street circuit in the season. And you've got to look out for flags, and you've got to look out for this and everything else. You're talking on the radio, and then at the same time, you've got all the detail that's on your steering wheel, telling you what charge your battery's at, you know, how fast you was in this lap compared to the last, and all that stuff.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It really is. It's the managers out there. Call your brakes, do that. Oh, by the way, overtake him. Oh, can you watch this as well? Oh, yeah, look out for that flag. Oh, you've missed that one. It is the mental capacity of them guys is unbelievable.
But again, bringing it back to the question, you've got to be happy. You've got to be happy with the car, happy with yourself, like confident to do a good lap, to do a good race. Because if you're not, then look what happened to Lewis. And I honestly think, unless they do something special in the next 2 or 3 races, like, I just don't see him getting anywhere close to the top.
Well, have you seen the schedule today that Mercedes have apparently leaked? They get a new floor for the next race, and then incrementally, after every race, they're going to add to that. And apparently, they're going to, with every addition, they're going to save weight. They're changing part this, part that, and they reckon they've got about a 3 to 5 race plan to get back to the front and gain about 1.2 seconds or something.
Russell touched on that after quali. He said, well, yeah, we're Mercedes, but I've messed with my car. Lewis has messed with his. Mine's paid off. His hasn't. Like, my little adaptations. But he said, realistically, it's going to be 3 to 4 races before we can even compete, because we just don't have the time in the car with the modifications to then learn and go, right, let's do this now. Like, it's not practice. It's not several hours. It's literally just practice, quali, race, right, move on. Practice, quali, race, move on. Like, it's too late. I think it's just going to be too late. Too late for them.
I don't know. I don't think it is, because this season, I think as long as Ferrari don't dominate, which, let's be honest, 2 races, 2 different winners. Well, I mentioned that. So the top 10 of the race on Sunday was Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Ocon, Norris, Gasly, Magnussen, and Hamilton. You've had 2 races, 2 different winners. Yeah, you've had 2 Ferraris up there, and you'd have had 2 Red Bulls last week if they hadn't have had the breakdowns. But I think you're going to get some massively shocking results, and that's going to keep Mercedes in it.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Anything. How exciting the first 2 races have been, especially this last one. That's true. Something could happen. Then they get 0 and nil points.
It's not necessarily the driver that makes it entertaining though anymore either. It's more the drama and what goes on.
What was it? Safety car, Perez. Done.
Booed over
straight away.
Yeah.
The
Welcome.
Safety car strategies is what screwed it up really for Perez and Hamilton for that. everything that really happened around the accidents and the pit stops.
Well, I think Hamilton and Mercedes panicked because the pit lane was going to close. You knew it. And I think in the back of their heads was that race last year where he went into the pits when it was closed and he got a massive penalty. I think that was played. As soon as they saw them two cars broke down in the pit lane, I think they all panicked and they was like, shit, what do we do? What happens here? I don't want to get caught out again. And I think Lewis was a bit hesitant. And I mean, Mercedes have had some shocking pit stop strategies last year. And I think they were just shit scared of making the wrong one again this year.
I don't know. I mean, it happened that quick. I mean, what was it? It was Alonso first. He got the loss of power.
Yeah.
With the
Unlucky.
Car coming up on his steering wheel. Not long
That
ago,
was
a
sad.
lap after that, Ricardo, he actually turned on. I've got no drive on the track. And as soon as that happened and he stopped, I'm like, that's it. You're going to have at least a VSC.
Yeah.
Hamilton waiting. There's I think there's about 15 laps left, and I thought he's got to go medium, or if he really, really wants to go for it, he could go soft. Even though the softs weren't great there, there's an option he could have had. But then Bottas retired. But it happened that quick, and I was sitting there thinking, Mercedes they've screwed up again. They've missed their opportunity here. And it was only when you saw the replay, you see Hamilton, they watched it from Hamilton's car, and he's driving by, and he goes past Ricardo, and he goes, that car's going slow. And then all of a sudden on the radio, on the comms, he's going, yeah, that's right, Lewis, box.
Yeah, too late.
Just gone by the pit lane.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, I've just gone by. And as soon as he says that, they go, pit lane's closed. Like,
yeah. They've had it now. But we touched earlier, the two battles, like Ocon and Alonso. I mean, I will say Ocon has got some balls on him. He really has got some big, massive balls on him.
A seasoned driver like Alonso.
Yeah.
And he took him for it. And you know what? Kudos to the guy. And that went on for ages. The only thing was it kind of screwed them over as well. I mean, it helped out Russell. He was able to peel away while them two was, swapping over left and right. But then, I don't know, they just made the decision to say to Ocon, stay put now. They said that at the wrong time. While they was fighting it out, what was it? Bottas caught him, but Bottas was right on the tail. Then Magnussen was right on Bottas. Anything goes wrong and them two go flying back. And that's pretty much what happened. As soon as I said to Ocon, stay put, that was it. Bottas had him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was too late, wasn't it, for him? But, I mean, the last few laps, Leclerc and Verstappen, you just knew it was going to come.
Quality.
But what's a new element this year is they're all being really clever, aren't they, with the DRS line? Like, they're both locked up.
Yes.
And they're playing games now. And Leclerc is... I never really liked Leclerc, but this year he seems such a clever guy. And he's a smart racer, isn't he? He really is a smart racer.
Magnussen did it first on Hamilton earlier on.
Yeah.
And then he tried it again.
Yeah.
What, a lap later, and that's obviously when Hamilton took him, because like, you're not going to catch me out twice. But yeah, that is a clever little game to play. I'll just slow down a little bit now. You can take me, then I'll get DRS.
And I know they moaned about it on Sky coverage, but to me, it's an extra element, and it, like I say, it makes it so you're not just passing and it's gone, done.
No. You've got to time it right. Are you gonna take him at this corner so then the next you can gain the advantage? And it's good because of what we've seen with all the differences in the cars and the engineering and over engineering and whatnot. It's like Max has got it in the straights, but Leclerc's got it around the corners. So again, it adds that element to it. It's exciting. It's exciting. Like, I love it. I thought it was it.
Oh, there we are. We lost you for a second.
Back.
You're back. Did you just zoom in the camera for effect then, or did it do it on purpose?
It might have did it on purpose. Why did it really like go?
It keeps like tracking you and moving. Like you'll be talking.
I know, like I come over here and what's it doing?
Making some kind of dramatic monologue.
Yeah.
I know, like, when I go over here and it's like, why is it following me? I'm not changing it. It's just shout out Apple. Apple, great product. What do you think? A random question. What's the best looking car this year?
We're
I
talking
think I'll say-
design, colour, or full package.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you got me.
Fucking that's your question.
The full package. The full package. Full package.
If we're talking full pack, I like the Aston Martin for the colours, but the grills on the side pods as well.
Yeah, they do.
That green.
Yeah,
that green is just ooh, nice.
It really goes with Lauren Stroll's white hair, doesn't it? That green, it's really nice.
I'll tell you what.
Been outdoing him as well.
Yeah, what a shame. Temporary driver beats your son. Oh, what a shame. He's shit. Get rid.
No comment.
I personally think the red of the Ferrari this year with a black bottom looks fantastic again. And I think the nose of it, I just think it's a proper Ferrari. It's a pretty car. And when they're pretty in Formula One, they are genuinely quick. We can all agree that the Red Bull looks boring and shit, can't we?
Yeah, it's just the same car every year, isn't it? With a fucking bull on the side.
They can't change, and that's just unfortunate. It's just, it's the only car I never get excited when I say, oh, they've launched a new library for the next season. You're just like, and? It's going to be the exact same colour. It's going to say Red Bull all over it. It's going to have some numpty driving it, but
I don't like McLarens. I just think it's just too much going on now with the wheels because I've got that Google. Yeah, it's just too much. It's just.
Wouldn't you be pissed off as Google? You'd be like, right, we sponsored the rims, fucking hell, boys, 4 corners of the car, get in. And it's going that fast. It looks shit. You can't even see it's Google. You'd be like, whoa, someone didn't think about this. Have a word.
Yeah, but then the guy who thought about it went, no, wait for the pit stop. Really?
Yeah, wait for the breakdown. Cut the engine now. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but when it stood still, it looks like something from fucking Mario Kart. It just looks, there's just too many fucking colours going on. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's not classy anymore. It's just like, there's too much going on.
McLaren Papaya Orange. I mean, what's not classy about that?
I know that colour now is just forever a McLaren colour now.
I think the Alpha
on the match.
The Alpha Tauri.
Out the back of the car next week, then there's going to be something wrong now.
Fucking two-strolled everywhere.
The Alpha Tauri for a Red Bull, I think that's a very pretty car. That blue looks really nice.
Yeah.
And last year with the white wheels, I think it was real good. But obviously they've got the wheel covers on now. But I'm just trying to think what the other cars look like. I mean, Haas has been stripped back with all the Russian sponsors taken off.
Yeah, it's just white with Haas. Boom. It's just a bit boring.
Yeah, like they're just they all look. I like the new rear wings. I think they all look really nice with the curves, and they look like a proper race car now, not something that's got a fin here and a fin there, and if you have a little coming together, all your carbon fibers off, and oh god, I can't drive this anymore. That's all gone on it. They're more simple and. But they look more like toy cars, to be honest.
That's what I mean. Now they just look more like fucking fighter jets, don't they? Really, like
yeah, they do really.
There's a video on Instagram where someone's looking close up at the Aston Martin, and the amount of fins and aerodynamics on it, it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
it looks ridiculously complicated. Cool though, really cool.
So before we recorded, we did have our top 3 predictions for this race. So unfortunately, none of us were right. I predicted Leclerc third, Verstappen second, Sainz first. James was Sainz third, Verstappen second, Leclerc first. And
Ooh, close.
Tony was Perez third, Verstappen second, and Sainz first. So we was all pretty wrong, really. No one had Verstappen winning.
Hey,
I think because he did so bad.
not in the right order.
Well, yeah, to
James
be
was
fair.
close.
Yeah, to be fair, you were quite close. Anything else? Anything else from that race?
Japanese guy, AlphaTauri Tsunoda, he had a terrible race. I want to see better from him next time. Water leak, power unit, game over. Like, let's hope for a better showing.
Yeah,
Didn't realise that wasn't his fault.
The cars as well. I mean, 2 races now have had the overheating issues as well.
Yeah, but that must hurt. That must hurt. Like, going all that way, and having all them problems once, twice. Oh, God.
3 times a lady. Is that what I thought that's what he was going into, then? No?
I think that's before my time. Before my time. Showing your age there, man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. We've just lost half our viewers. So, Australia next up, 10th of April. So we hadn't raced at Australia for quite a few years because of COVID, and obviously the track was changing as well, which I think 2019 was the last race. So apparently they've improved the track, revised it with different corners to promote better racing, and there's 14 turns instead of 16. Stats, boom.
So, what's your prediction?
Yeah, what is your prediction? So we're doing this on the fly, so no one said anything. So let's go fly. Tony, you go first.
Max is going to win.
Max is going to win.
Max is going to win.
Okay, second.
And then, second. I'm going to go Perez.
All right, okay.
And then I'm going to go... I'm going to go Leclerc. But that's such a boring guess.
Okay.
Boring guess.
James, you're free.
I ain't even got Max in the top 3.
What? Really?
No.
Okay. Go on then.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say Lewis Hamilton.
Hey, never know.
No.
Never know. You know, the other 19 drivers could crash. Can you imagine how fun that race would be? All the drivers crash on the first lap, barring Hamilton, so you've just got to watch him drive around 55 more times. Like, oh, God.
Be the longest fucking race going, wouldn't it? Jesus, in that car.
Well...
So, yeah, I've got Leclerc for the win.
For the win? Okay.
Aye. I've got Perez second because, in all honesty, I think out of the 2 Red Bull drivers, I think Perez is the better driver. I mean, you look at the last race of last season when he held up Hamilton long enough for bloody Verstappen to catch up an 8-second gap, and then he overtook him twice more on dead tyres.
That is very true.
Second.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go Sainz third. I know it's both Ferraris, but the way they've been looking the last 2 races, yeah, pretty much.
Right. So I've gone for Sainz for the win. I think he's going to break his duck.
He's not going to win that race.
I agree with Jay.
He's not going to win that.
No, there's a competition in it. We're all getting a bit more feisty now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree with James. Red Bull have got massive speed, but the Ferrari is so good round corners. And I think Australia, there isn't long straights. So I was going to go Leclerc second and have a Ferrari 1-2, but I'm going to put Perez in the middle of them because of what you've said. I am so shocked at that kid. He's a fucking brilliant driver. He really is. And I think this car suits him massively.
So underrated.
So, I've lost T-Dog again. There he is. Zooming in, look.
I'm back.
There he is.
The Apple battery is slowly dying on me, so I'd take that back. Apple, I'd take that back.
So I've gone Saints for the win, Perez second, Leclerc third. So we will see.
All gone really safe, haven't we? We've all gone for like a top three. We're not gone for like a Bottas third or a Russell third or anything like that.
I mean, I hope it happens. Yeah, Mick Schumacher for the win. Crashes one week, wins the next. I mean,
ooh. Well, this season, you never know.
No, that's true. Any other points, boys?
Oh,
the only
I don't know.
Granted, I know we keep saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a Hamilton fan" and stuff like that, but I don't think I've mentioned at all in the race, or anyone for that matter. But Hamilton actually broke the record for the number of race starts in that one.
Did he?
Yeah, so Michael Schumacher got 179 race starts in his career, and Hamilton's just done 180. But there's been no mention of it at all.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think I've seen that.
Like that. But you know what? If you're breaking records, you make a song and a dance.
I know. I know there's more races now a season, but still, it's quite a big feat, really, isn't it? To, Michael Schumacher that dominated the sport. They all raved about him, and now Lewis has broken pretty much every record. It's not really getting talked about, but like we say, we're biased.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, we are.
For anyone who's listening to this and probably getting fed up of me mentioning Hamilton,
get used to it, but everyone, because we will fucking mention him a lot.
Yeah. And if
hey, I've got
to get used to it. Deal with it.
I've got a fun fact. Leclerc has more podiums this year than he did last year. The total of last year already.
I mean, you've just thrown a right stat in there. I'm amazed. Well done, Tony. For someone that fell asleep after 7 laps in the race, you hit that out of the park, boy.
I forgot about that.
I'll get you sleeping, guys. Sleep, honestly.
I'm on this. I'm writing this. I'm making my notes. And you go, "Oh, what do you think?" "Oh, I fell asleep after about 4 laps." It's like
I got comfy, and what is it? Crofty. His intro didn't really get me going. Thought no. Saw the start. Saw the start. No crashes on the first corner. It's time to have a little nap.
Good effort.
And then off we went. We're ready after a little nap. Ready to see the rest of the race. Perfect.
Well, you obviously watched the race because you've thrown a stat in there. So hats off to you. Well done.
Oh yeah.
So right on that note, thank you everyone for listening, watching. Again to Cookie Cast. Just to let everyone know, we will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and all your other places you get your podcasts. Thanks again. And for this week, what did you say?
That was very seductive how you did that last little bit. A little glimmer in your eye there.
I'm surprised it didn't zoom in on him again like it did before.
Like, subscribe, and comment below. What's your favourite livery of this season? Let us know.
Save something for episode 2. Don't give it all away on the first one.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started, baby.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, baby.
You know, we haven't had Tony's talk yet or anything like that.
Exactly. Tony's corner. You wait for that episode 2. There's a spoiler alert.
Tony's notebook.
That's copyrighted Ted, really. You can't really do
that. Sorry. Shout out Ted's notebook. It's amazing. You should watch that show. If you haven't done already, watch that show.
Right. Thanks again, boys. And until the next race, see you later.
Peace. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Brand spanking new podcast. Big thank you to Mark, James and Tony for getting on and doing a new podcast with us. We are loving it. While I've got you, if you want to show these boys some love, subscribe to their podcast. Click that subscribe button. Show that love. You can also jump over to our website, thecookiecast.com. Over there we've got social media links, email button. Drop these boys a line. Tell them what you're thinking. Tell them how much you love their new podcast. That's it for this one, but look out for more new podcasts coming along and more episodes of Straight to the Apex. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.